Verse 32, and the messenger of Yahweh said to him, why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? See, I've come out to stand against you because your way is reckless before me. So I want to emphasize, I'm not sure what I said last week, just to make sure I emphasize, a reason Yahweh, remember Yahweh sent this messenger as a Satan, okay, and as an adversary, an obstructor, okay, in opposition of what Balaam was doing. He says, Yahweh may send, this is what I'm putting for you guys. Listen now, a reason Yahweh may send a Satan into your life is because your way is reckless before him. Okay, did you hear that? You need to receive that, okay? Stop thinking that some outside entity is just waiting to figure out ways to mess with you. And just all he wants to do is just figure out ways to mess with you and screw with you and mess your whole deal. No, it could be coming from Yahweh. I'm making a case that Satan generally works for Yahweh. We'll see that certainly in Job, okay? But you're also gonna see this in the next references we go to in Samuel, etc. But the thing is, he is sent because your way is reckless before him. In this case, maybe not all cases, but bear in mind, a reason, not the reason, I'm just saying a reason Yahweh may send a Satan into your life or make you available to be messed with by an adversary, an accuser, an obstructor, someone in opposition, a slanderer, or whatever it is in your life, is because you may be being reckless in your ways before him. Right? That's good. That's good stuff. You know what else it means? It means that it's your fault. Stop blaming that outside stuff. Balaam was not just being messed with by this messenger who doesn't, by the way, get described here as anything but like an angel. So certainly we're not picturing some evil entity. Yahweh sent this messenger to be an obstructor, to block his way, to be in opposition to what Balaam was doing. And it says here, because you were being reckless. So Balaam caused this messenger to show up. So just kind of keep this in mind, because I know we have been taught by that horribly wrong system called Christianity. Wrong meaning they have twisted, bent, and misunderstood and misrepresented what this says in like so many ways. Okay, don't get mad at me. It's true. You weren't told this about Satan. You weren't told this about the devil. You weren't told this about any of this stuff. Oh, it's going to get even more upsetting and more distressing when you realize how much you were lied to in a minute here, okay? But let's understand here, Balaam brought this on himself, okay? Because he was being reckless. Now, what does reckless mean in this particular context, okay? So it's not just reckless in general. He was told, do not go with these men unless they come to you in a certain way, right? Did those men do that? No. So reckless was partially following the instruction in whatever he really wanted. So he filtered the instruction through his preference. He wanted to go. So all he heard, pay attention now, because some of you guys really have this problem where you don't hear things right, because you'll hear through your filter of what you want to hear. So all you heard was, oh, you can go with them. That's what he heard. He didn't hear the part that says only if. He only heard the you can go. All right? We used to have a huge problem in this building where people would say, they would go do something. Well, who told you could do that? They said, well, you said. I said maybe someday I wanted to do that. I never said go do it. But all you heard was go do it. So you got to be real careful with that. I've learned to be really careful. If you guys come to me with something, I say, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Maybe we'll do that someday. Someday. That's the part you weren't listening to. All you heard was, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. And then boom, you're running off with it. See, that's why now nothing happens unless I sign it. Well, you said blah, blah. Okay, make sure I sign it. Because you're not necessarily, then I would be accused of my memory's wrong. Well, you just don't remember. No, you heard it wrong. I remember the conversation, and I remember having a positive response. I also don't remember saying, let's go do it now. But you heard, okay? This is what Balaam did also. Okay, Balaam did not do what was told. Okay? He was told, let's see, verse 20. And Elohim came to Balaam at night and said to him, if the men come to call you, rise and go with them. But only the word which I speak to you, go and do. And Balaam rose in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the men of Moab. I don't see where they showed up. The men didn't come first. In other words, all he heard was, you could go. Just say only what I told you to say. Be careful. We are all guilty of this at times. By the way, you know where the Satan comes in sometimes? It's the one that's voicing you, that only kind of promotes you and encourages you to do what you really wanted to do and gets you to focus on only the parts you wanted to hear. And you don't hear the rest. It still goes back to you. You only really wanted what you really wanted. Did Balaam want to go with them? Yes. How do I know that? Because he wanted to get paid. Right? Balak was trying to hire him to curse Israel. So he's wanting to get paid, and he's not going to get paid if he doesn't go. And so all he heard was, you can go. He didn't hear the if, then you can go. If they come and call on you. Doesn't say that they did, though. It says, if they come and call on you, and it says that Balaam rose up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with them. And then it says the displeasure of Elohim burned against him. Why? Because he didn't listen. He's reckless. You guys really need to focus on this idea. Reckless is not just running off and doing, it's not just, I didn't say it wasn't. It's not just running off and doing stuff you know you shouldn't do. Okay? Reckless is also going to include often hearing only what you wanted to hear, or only focusing on the piece you wanted to focus on, so that you think you have permission to do something that you really shouldn't do. Because you heard and then acted upon only the part you wanted to hear. Because I see that's what happened here. Balaam is listening, and all he heard was, he says, okay, rise and go with them. That's all he heard was, rise and go with them. He didn't hear the if. Otherwise, you have to sit there going, that's really weird. It sounds like, and a lot of you get confused in the beginning when I first teach, and say, I don't understand why he got in trouble. Yahweh said he could go, and then he got up and he went. No. He gave a very specific kind of if in front of it. Okay? There was a prioritization of something that must happen or you don't get to do this. All right? There's something that had to happen first. If, then you do this. To not do it that way is reckless. And that might get you a Satan obstructing you, opposing you, creating some sort of problem in your life because it's just trying to get your attention. That messenger was working for Yah, trying to get Balaam's attention. Of course, the donkey could see it. He couldn't. Okay? We went through that during the Torah portion, so I'm not going to get into that here. But I wanted to just emphasize it's because your way is reckless before him that this may happen to you also.